En estos momentos vamos a recibir a Girish Mandhania, director de Quorum Software. Esta presentación explorará cómo el uso de tecnologías de la información puede mejorar la agilidad comercial y la eficiencia operativa de las operaciones de GNL, transformando la gestión comercial en el sector. Bienvenido.
Hello, everyone. I want to start by saying that I'm glad that my presentation is not the one standing between you and lunch. We made a swap. And it's right after coffee break. So you should understand everything I'm speaking there. Um, my name is Girish Mandhania. I'm with Quorum Software. Um, Quorum makes software products for oil and gas companies. We have over 40 plus software products that span the entire value chain. If you're in the operations space and you're using software systems, there's a great chance that you are using one of many of our products. So the agenda for today is pretty simple. The first one is that we're going to look at some business trends, some market observations, and what does a software require based on those market observations. The second one is two takeaways. It's hard to remember everything that you learn from these large conferences. So if you want to remember anything from this presentation, those are the two takeaways. So I'm going to help you with that. And any IT presentation or digital transformation presentation is not complete without talking about AI. So I had to add it. But we'll look at what LNG companies require to be AI ready. Okay. So we have grouped the business trends into 7 topics. The first one is around sustainable hydrocarbons. And our observation is that there is increased external scrutiny around activities concerning hydrocarbons. There is a huge focus on sustainability around usage and application of LNG. And then also small-scale LNG must be compared with realistic alternatives like wood, fuel oil, electricity that have large transmission losses. Based on that observation, the software solution that the LNG industry should use should provide reliable emissions management based on industry standard emissions calculations and capabilities to manage both large and small scale LNG operations with various modes of LNG distribution. The second trend is around financing of LNG terminals. Including carbon capture and storage appears to be fundamental when it comes to financing of LNG export terminals. Avoiding overinvestment and stranded asset has become focus of governments and investors. Based on that observation, the software solution that the LNG industry needs is or should provide support for operational and commercial aspects of CCS. And also it should be renewable ready so that the LNG import terminals can transition to renewables without replacing their software. The next trend is optimal use of infrastructure. Regulatory bodies are pushing LNG companies to optimally use their LNG infrastructure for existing and new infrastructure. And also having third-party access is becoming more and more common. A growing LNG spot market is also presenting with a lot of commercial opportunities in the for LNG exporters and importers that manage their own fleet of vessels. Now, based on that observation, the software solution in the LNG space should provide a fully integrated customer portal that immediately highlights the impact on planning and scheduling of any third-party request, and also production optimization and fleet management capabilities to take care of the dynamic market environment. The next trend is around carbon neutral cargoes. So in 2021, the international group of LNG importers came up with a framework to define what a carbon neutral cargo is. It has been trending downwards. There was no announcement of carbon neutral cargo in 2023, but it can become the next big thing in the coming years. So based on that observation, the software solution should um, be able to provide trustworthy and transparent documentation of carbon footprint across the entire LNG value chain. The next trend is around energy security and commercial versus commercial business. So the role of LNG import terminals has become more and more complex, providing regional and national energy security, while LNG is becoming a globally traded asset. LNG import terminals are also searching for new revenue streams and by providing a different commercial services. There are considerations around short-term versus long-term contracts. There's a shift shift from oil-based pricing to pricing based on regional gas benchmarks. So based on those observations, the software solution in the LNG space should be able to provide configurable contract management and price determination mechanisms to identify and capitalize on dynamic market conditions, and efficient terminal operations and transaction management and revenue recognition for both marine vessels and LNG trucking. The next business trend is around LNG bunkering. LNG is now becoming or is considered as a mature alternative fuel for marine vessels. And it has a very strong and formidable presence today to become the fuel of choice for the future for marine vessels. Based on that observation, the software solution should be able to provide fully operational and commercial support for LNG bunkering and all transshipment activities. The seventh and the last trend is around optimal fuel mix. The balance between energy security, environmental impact, and the fuel prices of alternative fuels is becoming more and more important for electrical providers that are entering the LNG space. The right answer may not be to import as much as LNG that your infrastructure can support. Based on that, the software solution should be able to provide capabilities to manage several fuels and commodities in the same software solution, and optimization capabilities flexible enough that take into account the environmental, operational, financial inputs to the problem function. Now, this brings us to the second topic in the agenda, which is the takeaways, but I want to build towards the takeaways. So I want to start with a home improvement consideration that I have. I want to be able to build a gym for myself to work out. So my question is whether should I build my own or should I subscribe to a big gym outside? Now, there are several considerations. I've never built a gym, so I know it will require physical infrastructure, and I have to think about scalability for the future. Once I have a gym, I have to be able to maintain it, right? I don't know what it entails, but I know like equipment can fail and it needs to be replaced, fixed, etc. The health industry and the gym equipment is moving at a fast pace, so cutting edge upgrades, having newer equipments, replacing the equipments, I have to think about that. Connectivity, if I'm constrained to my small gym, my connectivity to the outside health community may be minimal. Security of that gym is a concern for me. So maybe like a few locks and some cameras would do. I'm not a security expert, but I think that's where I should start. And before I start working out, my initial capital expenditure on the gym will be high, and the total cost of ownership, because of all the previous considerations, seems to be higher. Now, these or this can also be your consideration when you are looking at a software selection for LNG industry. You need to be uh, infrastructure and scalability consideration should be in place, like who takes care of the infrastructure and is it scalable. You need to be able to maintain the application and also have evergreen upgrades available to you. Connectivity to various software solutions within your IT landscape. That's important. Cybersecurity is a big topic today, and you want to make sure that all the software application in your IT infrastructure is super secure. And your capital expenditure and total cost of ownership of owning that piece of software or your entire operational technology. So those considerations are important when you're thinking about a software that needs to be used in this space. This brings us to the first takeaway. What we have seen that works with LNG commercial operations is software as a service. Software as a service providers take care of the infrastructure and scalability concerns. The maintenance and cutting edge upgrades are always included, so you always have the latest and the greatest that the industry is going with. Connectivity is through industry standards and protocols, so that your system, your software as a service system, is connected to other IT systems in the landscape. Cybersecurity, as I said, is a big topic. A huge focus of software as a service providers is on security and based on industry standards and protocols, which require them to be audited every 6 months or a year. And overall, capital expenditure and total cost of ownership of having software as a service application is lower as compared to building it all yourself, because it's a pay-as-you-go model. Now, you could have many options in software as a service, so which one do you pick? And that is our second takeaway, is go with an expert partner. Having the right expert partner with business, technical, and functional expertise and industry experience has proven very valuable in both greenfield and brownfield projects, specifically in the greenfield projects where new team is coming up and they're building up a plan and a process in place. That brings us to the third item in the agenda. What about AI? As I said, no digital transformation or IT presentation is complete without talking about AI. The truth is, IT systems cannot operate in silo today. A study says that 80% of AI initiatives result in failure. The lower percentage that succeed, and especially in the energy space, are the ones that focus on process standardization, connected data and workflows, are cloud ready, are functionally deep, are very emissions aware, and are new energy ready. Our message as Quorum Software is that if you are an LNG operator and if you want to be an energy ready, you need to focus on a well integrated software landscape with rich data, and in other words, a strong digital core. That ends my presentation. Thank you all for listening. We'll be happy to connect with you on this topic, whenever.